Hey guys, Zach Harris here for the Love of Sports on Fox Sports 980. If you haven't liked my page yet, make sure you go like my page on Facebook at For the Love of Sports. Make sure you subscribe to this video. I never understood why people always said subscribe to my video until I decided to start doing feeds such as this. So today I decided I'm going to talk about the new football league, the AAF, also known as the Alliance of American Football. Kicked off yesterday, February 9th. They had two games. One of them was on CBS. They got two games today. The first one's on CBS Network, which is going on right now as we speak, between the Memphis Express and the Birmingham Iron. So make sure you're paying attention to that because, trust me, guys, after watching last night's game, I am on the bandwagon. I am 100% on the bandwagon. And if you haven't gotten on the bandwagon yet, you're missing out. So last night's game between the San Antonio Commanders and the San Diego Fleet drew a 2.9 million viewership. To put that in perspective, last night there was a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets. Two teams that feature combined four All-Stars, four of some of the best players in the world, with Paul George, James Harden, you have Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul. So four of the greatest NBA players in the league right now. That game drew a 2.5 million viewership. So most of you, a lot of you, 2.9 million of you, tuned in to view at least a little bit of the AAF to see what it's about. And if you're not one of those 2.9 million, I suggest you check it out. If not today, do it next weekend because the games will be on CBS and NFL Network and CBS Sports Network. So make sure you check that out. So to break it down a little bit, it's kind of like an NFL light. So take baseball or basketball, how they have a development league. Now, this has nothing to do with the NFL. This is strictly their own little thing, co founded by Bill Polian, with head of football operations in Hines Ward and Michael Vick, who yesterday was an offensive coordinator but decided to step onto the operations side of the AAF. So basically, it's like an NFL development league, but has nothing to do with the NFL. Basically, it takes players that may not have been good enough for the NFL, or guys that deserve a second chance in the NFL, or players that maybe not didn't get a fair shake in the NFL. Guys like such as Christian Hackenberg. You know him. He got drafted by the Jets. Came out of Penn State. Spent some time with the Raiders. Spent some time with the Eagles. Didn't stick with any team. So now he's in this quote unquote development league, also known as the AAF. And after last night, oh man, jump on that bandwagon. This is going to be big. It's going to be huge. And this is nothing like arena football. This is exactly like the NFL. NFL light, I'm calling it. So jump on the bandwagon. Need I say it more? So a couple of stats, a couple of things. The NFL rules and the AAF rules are fairly similar for the most part. A couple of rules are different in the AAF. You don't have kickoffs. So each team starts at the 25-yard line. They do have punts. So if you go three and out, they can punt the ball away. So you have that. That's a difference. Um, Challenge rule. When you challenge a play, you as the fan sitting at home, when a team challenges a play, you get to listen in on how they come up with the ruling they come up with. So they have a sky ref which sits up high and looks down on the game. So last night there was a questionable catch, no catch. Now don't worry, NFL fans. It's not that typical, oh well he juggled it, it's not a catch, it is a catch. It they discussed it all the way through, and you got to listen to their whole discussion. Hey, I got 2 feet, but I also seen the ball being bobbled and ended up going into his legs. I'm ruling incomplete. What did you see on the field? So that's really neat factor of that. They also have, say you're down late in the game in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. Instead of going for an onside, which very rarely do you ever convert, you can go for it on a 4th and 12. So you get one play, a 4th and 12 from your own 28-yard line. You get that, you convert it, you get to keep the ball. So that's more of a percentage of converting that to keep the ball than doing an onside kick. So I think that's actually really cool. As far as scoring, touchdowns are worth 6 points, just like the NFL. Everything about it's just like the NFL. Only the difference is when you score a touchdown, you don't kick an extra point. You have to go for two. That's also neat. Then in overtime, each team gets one possession, and you score a touchdown, you got to go for two. That's simple as that. Games can end in a tie. I don't really like that, but it's all about player safety. Bill Polian, Hines Ward, Michael Vick, they're just trying to put together the best team that they can to keep players safe. And it's just a development league. And I keep calling it NFL Light because it really is NFL Light. And I know football just ended last week. We had the Super Bowl, but I already got the itch for the NFL coming back, and this is helping me scratch that itch. So if you haven't tuned in, make sure you tune in. Today's game, like I said, is underway right now on CBS Sports Network between the Memphis Express and the Birmingham Iron. If you look at a couple of the players, they say in the league, the AAF on average has about 81% of their players have signed an NFL contract at some point in their life. So this isn't some bum coming off the street or some backup at a college that's playing in the NFL. It's not like East Coastal Carolina or whatever college you want to pick. Alabama's ninth string running back playing. It's talented guys that either deserve a second chance in the NFL or didn't get a fair shake or they didn't get drafted and they were right on the fringe of making the NFL. They spent some time on the practice squad, but they figured this is the best way to hone their skills. So, a couple of guys that really stick out today. Obviously, you have head coach Mike Singletary for Memphis, which is a big name. He obviously played in the NFL, and he was a head coach of the 49ers, a failed experiment there, but that's a story for a different day. A couple of the players on Memphis really stick out. You had Zach Mettenberger, who was drafted in one of the NFL drafts by the Tennessee Titans. He spent 2 years with the Titans, started 10 games. He was 0-10 as a starter. Then he abruptly retired. Well, he's taken a dabble into the AAF. You have Christian Hackenberg that I talked about. He spent a couple years with the Jets and the Raiders and the Eagles, but he didn't stick in the NFL. He didn't really get a fair shake. He had 2 years in the league between those three teams, and he just had no starts. And he's just looking for his opportunity to show exactly what he can do and why he should be in the NFL. Then you have a running back that played for St. Louis and for the Jets, Zach Stacy, who averages 3.8 yards a carry for his career in the NFL. He's had 17 starts. He's played in 35 games overall. You have guys like Devin Lucen, who played for the Patriots, was big on special teams for the Patriots. Another special teams player that played for the Giants, Brad Wing, he was a punter for them. If you look at Birmingham Iron, who Birmingham down in Alabama, they got a couple of former Alabama players with Blake Sims, who led the Alabama Crimson Tide to a very good record in 2014. You have former number third overall pick for the Cleveland Browns in Trent Richardson. Yeah, Trent Richardson, once drafted by the Cleveland Browns, third overall. a guy that couldn't find a hole to save his life, spent some time in the Canadian Football League. Well, now he's dabbling into the AAF as well as these other players. You got wide receiver Quentin Patton, who spent 4 years with the 49ers. He has a career 73 catches, 880 yards, and a touchdown. So, some good known guys. You also have kicker Nick Novak. You know Novak best for his time with the Chargers. He's he's made 174 career kicks. He has a 82% field goal percentage makeage. So he's made 82% of his field goals. So, like I said, last night drew 2.9 million viewers. And you compare that to the OKC game versus the Rockets, that drew a 2.5, and that's a prime time game between two primetime playoff teams with 4 All-Stars. So, if you have not jumped on this bandwagon, make sure you check it out. And another really cool stat, a really cool feature of this game, I'm going to show you right now. You go here, you got some apps on your phone. You go to this app right, can't really zoom in, but it's an Alliance app. You go download the Alliance app. It's coming up right now. So once it loads, it will bring up the game. Right now we have Memphis and Birmingham. You click on that, and you can call the plays. You literally can call the plays. So there's a pass. So say you click pass. You can click pass to the left, pass to the right, and you earn points. And you get enough points, and you earn stuff. Like right now, run. I want to run to the right. It says there's a 4% chance that they're going to run to the right. If they happen to run to the right, I earn some points. I move on up. So that's a cool feature to keep fans inside the game. And like I said, it may not have anything to do with the NFL right now, but just you wait. Come 5 to 10 years from now, this is going to be a NFL development league. Just like the NBA has the G League, the NFL is going to have the AAF. Now, these guys don't make much. They all have 3-year contracts worth $250,000. Now, you're saying $250,000, that's a lot of money to you and I. But they're making 75 grand a year to play a sport where the average athlete lasts about 3.5 years in the NFL. And they're playing the same game, taking the same hits for $75,000. Something that could devastate your career, devastate your body, and they're playing for $75,000 because they know this is the best way to get themselves in shape and show the NFL, hey, look, I'm still here. So make sure, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. CBS Sports Network. Later on at 8 o'clock tonight, you can check out the next game, which is going to be on NFL Network. So check out those games. And if you haven't already, throughout the process of this video, go on Facebook and like my page, For the Love of Sports. I'll be posting a lot more videos on there and staying in tune with sports, and looking forward to talking to you, the listeners. And check me out Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 980, For the Love of Sports there. You can also download your free iHeartRadio app and take me on Sundays at 11 wherever you go.